The first thing I want to talk about is my thoughts on death, which is a really fun topic, but it's something that has affected me very clearly. And it's something that I've realized has impacted a lot of really negative decisions in my life. Um, I have this persona, my name is Soul Demon, that I took on when my mother was sick with cancer. And, when she was entering hospice and all those things, I was 14, 15, and I realized how unfair the world was. And I felt very, and then selfishly was very much like, why is this happening to me? And I acted out in a lot of ways. And I think they adopted this kind of antisocial character because I felt like, life sucks. We're all going to die. I lost my mother who loved me unconditionally. And I was stuck with, just my father and who I loved. And it was, I think, tried his hardest, but it was not my mother. And when my mother died, he became very despondent and he basically wasn't around for a long time. And so I kind of did a lot of things at 15, 16. Sex, drugs, things that probably I should not have done at that age. But I felt very nihilistic at that time. And what was really weird was that I went from being a very unpopular, very uncool kid to, as soon as I started kind of just being a jerk and treating people poorly, especially in high school, all of a sudden I became cool and people responded very positively to it. And I think I learned a lot of bad lessons from that. Cut to 10 years later, very similarly as my first real true love also came down with cancer, and entered into basically a hospice state. I also did something very similar where I started treating people very poorly because I felt like this is unfair that this is happening to me again. I'm losing people in my life and I'm treating people poorly because, especially at that time, I was I felt very disenfranchised with the work I was doing at GamerX. So when I was canceled and stepped away from my business, a lot of it I think was probably coming from a place of, I was acting out in the same way that it was when I was 15, where I was 25, in the same way where I felt like the world was taking away my happy ending and I don't need to follow the rules because it doesn't matter, we're all gonna die and everything sucks and I should be allowed to have fun and do what I want. But I didn't realize who I was affecting, and that's where I want to go in the next video.